Hello viewers, Mike here. We've got something going on today that might be kind of fun. We have some various measuring devices here today, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a random reading and then we're going to compare it, and we'll end up comparing it using gauge blocks, and we're going to see how these various devices measure up between each other. And what we have here is we have a scale, and we'll begin by scaling this measurement, and then we will use this vernier caliper, and then we have a dial caliper and a digital caliper, and finally a micrometer. The scale, just a little tip for you, this is a Starrett. It's a C303R, and what that tells you is on the back side the finest graduations are 20 thousandths increments, or 1/50ths, and if you get the one with the 10 thousandths graduations, unless your eyes are a lot better than mine, it looks like one solid line. This is the one that I've used my whole life in the tool shops I've been associated with. That's pretty much what the tool makers use, is the 303R with the 20 thousandths graduations. Any coarser than that, you have to do too much estimating by eye. But we find at 20 thousandths graduations you can do a pretty good job. When I'm bringing a workpiece into a dimension, that's what I use as my scale until I get within about 50 thousandths, and then what I'll do is after that, then I'll start using my micrometers or calipers. Okay, so that's our scale. Here's our vernier calipers. I only have one vernier caliper. And a little background on this one was, about 3 months ago, a friend gave this to me, and a friend of his had dug this out of a dumpster from a manufacturer that had thrown this away. This was locked up tight. I've got it loosened up now. Somebody had beat on this one screw here, and so I made a new screw for it. And here I just took some time and I calibrated it as best I could. So we'll take our first reading with this vernier caliper. Okay, second we have a dial caliper, and I saw a post the other day in I think one of the machinist YouTube channels, or maybe it was Facebook, and somebody said they'd never heard of a 4-inch dial caliper or a 4-inch caliper. Okay, here you go. There's a 4-inch Mitutoyo dial caliper. I bought this new. I've had it for years and years. Done a lot of work with it. Okay, this is your basic digital caliper, and you're all familiar with that. And then finally we have a 3 to 4 inch Lufkin micrometer. And to get our reading, what I will do is I have my planer gauge, and I will just set this somewhere in the 3 to 4 inch range, lock it down. I won't know where. I haven't done any pre-work on this. And then we'll go through, we'll scale, we'll check it with the various calipers and micrometer. We'll record them. We'll see what the differences are just for fun. And then we will take this over to the granite surface plate, and we will use gauge blocks to see within a few tenths of what this reading actually is. Okay, that's what we're going to do, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, first to get a random dimension. No, there's nothing up my sleeve. And here's my planer gauge. We'll stop right there. Okay, I don't know what this dimension is, but we'll start out by scaling it. Probably the best way to scale a dimension is to take your hard scale and put up against the end and butt your scale up against it, but we won't. We won't do it that way. We'll make it a little bit more difficult, and we'll do it like this. Okay, I'm going to call that 4 inches 22 thousandths, and we'll record it. We'll put the tenths on there just for fun. Now the vernier. Okay, I would call that 26. Dial caliper. I can feel these dragging. I haven't used them in a long time, and it doesn't feel right. They're dragging a little bit. I don't like that. Four inches 25. Digital. Four inches and 25. Now the micrometer. I'd say probably 424 8/10. So right now, let's see, we have a range of about 2 thousandths, which is surprising. Okay. Now the next step is to go over to the granite plate, and we'll take a reading from the plate up to here with gauge blocks, and we'll see what it actually is. Okay. And here we are at my little granite plate, and I started off, I cleaned it up good. Windex, you know, really works pretty good on these things, because mine sits out, it's not covered, and it collects a lot of grit and so forth in the shop here. And it's really important. Two reasons why you need to keep your granite plate clean is, first of all, to keep the grit off of it. You don't want to set anything on and start sliding it around with grit between your workpiece and granite plate, because the grit is so abrasive, it just, you know, kind of acts like a lapping plate, and you know, you don't want to start lapping on your granite plate. You want to keep it nice and flat. And the second thing is using Windex or something like that, it takes the oils off, and the oils can really mess up your readings too, you know, the oils from your skin. So you want it nice and degreased and nice and clean, and everything sliding real nice and freely. Now, I did make a mistake on my readings, rookie. I wrote down 4 inches, blah, 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 instead of 3 inches, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I was off an inch, but I was off exactly an inch. So, Anyway, with that said, let's see what this reading on my planer gauge actually is according to the gauge blocks. Now, these are probably grade B gauge blocks, and so they could be off a tenth or so too, but you know, for the home gamer, you know, that I am today, you know, that's plenty accurate. So, I have a 2-inch block, a 900 block, and a 125 block, okay, and so that should stack up to what, 3 inches and 25 thousandths. Okay, so we get a reading here on the gauge block. We come over here, we see it about 3/10 under. So 3/10 under 0.25 is 0.247. Okay, so the gauge blocks say it's 3 inches, 0.24 and 7/10. So when we look through this, you know, we can see that the let's see, 0.20. We see the micrometers were the most accurate. They were within a tenth, you know, at least with my calibration on my eyeballs, it was 1/10. So the micrometer reading was 3 inches, 0.248. The gauge blocks, again, 3 inches, 0.247. That's not too bad. Digital calipers and the dial calipers were about the same. 3 inches, 0.25. So, yeah, that's about 3/10 there. So they were within 3/10. The vernier caliper came in at 0.26. So that's about a thou and 3/10 off. And the scale, I scaled it with, you know, 0.22. So that's I scaled it within 2 and 3/10. And you know, for scaling, that's not too bad. I would say to the machinists that are just getting started out there at home and so forth, develop the skill with your scale. I mean, you know, the scale really is one of your most reliable tools, and to jump in there and start using your precision instruments too soon, you know, just wastes a lot of time. So get close with your scale, and then once you're close and you're zeroing in on your final dimension, then use your more precision instruments. So just about the way we thought it would have come out. You know, the micrometers are the clear winners. Digital calipers today are pretty good. I think mine are, I don't know if they're, yeah, I think they're Toyota also, or not Toyota, Mitutoyo also. And looks like my vernier that was dug out of the dumpster, you know, is not too good, but again, for 50-inch verniers, I guess that's okay. So, this is not scientific. This is pretty crude, just a quick, interesting little thing. At least I hope it's interesting. What did we achieve here? Absolutely nothing. But I hope you had some entertainment out of it, and maybe you did pick up something. So I'll just wrap it up right here, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy. We're going to take some various measuring devices, and we're going to make a random reading and do some comparisons and see how the check